Hello and welcome back. We're so glad you're here today. Come and join the Young Toddler group as we interact and play. My name is Tamika Reese and I'll be your guide through these virtual visits. In this visit, we will go over the parent-child interaction. We will talk about the family well-being and we'll also discuss the develop-centered parenting. All right, let's get started. So remember, we're doing this all throughout the year. I can't believe this is our last video visit for the 2020-21 school year. I have had a pleasure just doing these videos for you. So we're going to get started with our class, and as you know, we're going to do our welcome song. So to start the welcome song is to help your child get focused with the activity, to make sure that they understand this is your special time. Now don't forget, while you're out in through on this summer vacation, make sure that you still continue on with the same routines with your child. Just offer them that special time together with them. So you're going to start with the welcome song. So it's hello, and it goes hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. So then you're going to introduce everyone that's doing the visit with you, and I'm Miss Tamika, so you're going to start off with your child. My name is Miss Tamika, so I'll start off with me. So it'll say, Miss Tamika's here, Miss Tamika's here, hello, and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. And then you'll go with everyone that's going to do the activity with you. And I'm going to just give you a reminder of the song we used to do. Now we're going to move along to our read aloud. So I have a special book for you. It's a very beautiful book. And the title of this book is Only One You. So remember, when you're going over the book with your child, you're going to talk about the different parts of the book. We have the front of the book, the spine of the book, and the back of the book. So we're going to review these parts with our child and helping them understand the different parts of the book, letting them explore, opening and closing the books, turning the pages with their fingers. At this age, these cardboard books are good for them because it helps them. It's easier for them to flip and move and kind of build those fine motor skills in their fingers. So let's read. Only One You. It says, "It's time," Papa said. "I think it is," Mama agreed. "Time for what?" Andre asked. Papa's voice softened. "To share some wisdom." Always be on the lookout for a new friend. Look for beauty everywhere you are to keep the memories of it with you. Blend in when you need to and stand out when you have a chance. Find your own way and you do not have to follow the crowd. Know when to speak, know when to listen. No matter how you look at it, there is so much to discover. Wow, look at all those different fish. If you have a wrong turn, circle back. If something gets in your way, move around it. Set aside some quiet time to relax and reflect every day. Appreciate art. It's all around you. Make wishes on the stars in the nighttime sky. "Thank you for listening," said Mama. "We hope you will remember." Papa winked and whispered, "We know this is a lot for you to think about." Andre did a backflip and somersault and smiled. He was excited to go out in the world the world with what he had just learned. Wait for me, he shouted to his friends. Before he swam away, he turned back to his parents and said, I will remember. Mama kissed Andre on the top of his head. There is only one you in this great world, she said. Make it a better place. The end. I really hope you enjoyed those very words of wisdom as you go through this summer vacation. I want you to remember some of those words. Just enjoy the time that you have together with your child, especially at this age, because they're so young and they absorb so much, but the time goes by so fast. So just enjoy these moments that you have with them, and those big emotions that they have, and in those quiet times that y'all have together. Just make sure that you take that time to embrace and in love and to just soak in those good moments that you have together. Remember, sometimes those big emotions, you might think that it's just like something that's out of your control, but those are only just short moments of time. Just remember those good times that you're going to have with your young toddler, because remember, they do grow very fast. So now we're going to move on to our parent-child interaction. So what we're going to do with this activity, the name of it is paper play, crumble and filling. So what you're going to need for this activity is just a container. You can either do like a clear container like this I have, or you can use like a water bottle, preferably a water bottle, because the neck of it is smaller. It's going to help with our fine motor skills, or you can use just a cylinder like this, depending on how you want to do it. And then I have this vase. So these are just different containers that you could use maybe to do this activity, to give you an idea of the different sizes. So they all have different size openings. So this one is a wider opening, and then this one has a little bit bigger, and then there we go, a little bit smaller. Then this one's a little smaller, and this is our smallest opening that we have. And you can either do it that way, or you can take the top off and use it that way. You're also going to need some paper. Here I have two different size colored papers, but they're also, I use them because they're bright colors that's going to bring them to their attention. So you can either use this kind of paper, or you can use tissue paper, whichever one works best for you. So what you're going to do is have your child crumble the tissue paper into little balls. So this is a good way to kind of build with their motor skills. So let's go over the developmental domains that we're going to focus on, so you'll know when you're doing this activity what to focus on. So we're going to talk about the motor skills. So children are using their eyes and fingers together. When your child is stretching their muscles and their fingers while they are writing. So when we're doing this activity, your child is performing cognitive skills. So they're performing actions with the paper and causing it to look different. So when they're crumbling it, they're making it look different. So that's cognitive. And then also the social and emotional part of this activity we're going to focus on is your child is working hard and taking turns with you to fill up the bottle. She's learning to cooperate and work together on a task. So this was what you're going to do with your child. You're going to take this back and forth time to crumble up these papers and put it in the container. So the safety tip for this: guide your child to keep from putting the paper in their mouth. Keep your child's fingers dry so that the dye from the paper will not stain them. So it's very important to try to encourage your child. I know this time they like to explore with their mouth, but just try to keep them focused on crumbling it up and then putting it in the bucket. So what we're going to do, we're going to have two different colored papers. So you can either do this where your child get one color and you get another, or you could just tear it in half. You get some and the child gets some. So the thing is, to help work with their fine motor skills, you're going to help them learn how to use their pincher grasp to rip the paper. You can do that starting that way. So you're going to rip the paper. Ooh, so look, we're ripping it in little pieces. And another way you're going to help your child with this activity with the fine motor skills is helping them to crumble the paper. So you're going to take it and learning how to use those pinchers. Pinch, 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 pinch. Crumble it. So now when they're saying they're making it different, the cognitive, they're using their fingers to make the paper look different. First it was a longer big sheet. Now we've used our fingers to make it into this little crumpled piece. So depending on your just the attention span of your child. If they're going to get too frustrated, you can either do like the smaller hole and then say, boop, put it in. So then that's another way they're figuring out what they're going to do in order to make this paper fit inside this little hole. So then while you're doing this, you and your child will take turns. So you can be like, ooh, I'm going to put in a piece, you're going to put in a piece. So you'll be like, oh, it's my turn. And then this will help your child with their understanding patience and waiting. So I'm crumbling my paper. So while you're doing it, make sure that you're talking to your child, telling your child what you're doing. So I'm using my fingers to make my paper really small so it can fit in this little hole. Boop. Put it in. Now it's your turn. So then you'll give it to your child. And then while they're doing it, oh, I see you're using your fingers. Look how you're pressing the paper so hard to make it into a tiny ball. Is that small enough to go in the hole? Let's try. Things like that. It's just kind of helping them think about what they're doing. You telling them what they're doing and helping them to kind of guess how to use their fingers in different ways in order to make this paper fit either to the little hole, or if you feel like that's something that your child isn't going to be able to do, they're going to get frustrated, it's not going to be a good activity, then you can use something wider so that you can take the time for you and your child to do this activity together. Even though it's a wider hole, they're not going to have to force it in there, but you can be like, oh, let's crumble it. Then you're like, oh, my turn. And then helping them understand that turn taking when you're going back and forth doing the activity. So you're going to do this activity as long as your child is interested in it. You can use different materials. You can do like cotton. So maybe that cotton, that'll help them with that textile, the sensory part of the activity. Or you can use, like I was saying, like tissue paper or just regular paper. Or you can use things like newspaper or magazines, just having them with those different textures that'll help them with the sensory part of it. And then also using the different size holes will help them depending on how frustrated they'll get while they're doing it, but using those different size holes. And also with the clear container, because it's clear, you can see what's inside. Now you can do where you can make layers. So you can say, oh, we're going to do this pink, all the pink, and then we're going to do another layer of yellow, and then you can make another layer of blue or any color of paper that you have, and then you're going to have the different layers, and then it'll be fun to let your child just shake it up, and then they can see how they made this big rainbow mixture of colors inside of their container. So those are just some different options that you have on how you can do the activity. Make it as fun and creative as you want to do it. Remember, you're going to cater to your child and their development and what you feel is going to work best for them. So just kind of monitor your child, and you know their child. We've been monitoring our children the whole school year, so we know what our child likes to do and what's going to kind of trigger them, if they're going to be too frustrated with this itty bitty hole, or if this isn't going to be challenging enough. We'll know to use a different container in order to help support our child's developmental need. So thank you, and I really hope you enjoy this activity with you, your child, and your home visitor. So now we're going to move on to our Develop-Centered Parenting handout. So the name of this handout is Stay Positive, How the Words We Choose Shape the Behavior. So remember, our words are very important. There is life in our words. So challenging behaviors are a typical part of child development. These behaviors arise as easy as it fall, with a pattern of telling children what not to do. However, the positive language caregivers and teachers use to create the opportunity for your child's success by telling them what they should do instead. So remember, when you're talking to your child, instead of always saying, no, stop, don't do that, that's not what we do. Tell your child what you want them to do. When you're telling them, giving them the positive words and telling them what to expect, the behavior will be very different. Because if somebody's always telling you what you can't do, it's always a negative. It does affect you. Think about it. If somebody's always, nope, you can't do that, nope, that's not what we do, nope, 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 then you're going to be like, man, then what am I supposed to do? So you don't have an expectation, you don't understand what the expectation is. So when you give your child those positive words, letting them know what they should do, it'll help. So when you're saying, stop touching that, we should be like, quiet hands. Remember, we're going to have quiet and soft hands. Or if you see your child doing something and you say, don't say that, that's rude. So if they said something that wasn't quite acceptable, then you should say, next time you feel that way, you can say this. That would be polite. So if you're like, their child is eating something and they're like, "Ugh, I don't like it, that's disgusting, that's nasty," then you can say, "Oh, next time you feel that way, you feel like there's something on your plate that you don't like, next time you can say, Mommy, I feel like I don't really want to eat that today. Can we get something different? Or I don't like eating that. Can we get something different?" Or if you want your child, don't say, "Don't stay at the sink too long. Don't rush through washing your hands." So basically, if your child is playing in the water or something and you see them playing with the water, instead of saying, "Oh, don't stay at the sink too long," or if you see them just say "Psh," and then they walk away, "Oh, you shouldn't rush to washing your hands." You should tell them the correct way of doing it. So while washing your hands, the correct way of approaching the situation is, while washing your hands, sing the birthday song. When the song is finished, then you should be finished washing your hands. So that'll help them have the expectation of what they should expect it to do. So that's when you're using these positive words. So although positive language can be used in more situations, negative vocabulary may still be required, especially if a child is in immediate danger or a situation must be resolved quickly. So we're not saying that you shouldn't be able to tell your child stop or no, because sometimes if there's a car coming in the middle of the street, then their child may not compute the words, "Okay, let's be careful, let's use our watchful eye." You need to be able to say, "Stop, wait, there's a car coming," so that your child will be able to understand there's immediate danger and to stop their actions. So that there are still times where there should be that type of language used because it's appropriate for the situation. However, take a moment after the incident is over to address the behavior calmly and talk about the possible situations and the expected behaviors. Changing communication style takes time. So remember, it takes time. You have to practice this. But the word choices that you make um, to make a difference when you address behaviors. Try positive language today to make a happier home. So that you could just try it out today. Go ahead and see how it works for you when you're in with your child, using those words to see how if it's going to work better for you. But it is a good practice, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but you have to be intentional. That has been my word throughout these videos, being intentional about what you're doing with your child. So our final our family well-being is turn off the TV and turn on play. That is something you should do throughout this whole summer vacation. Just making sure that you turn on that play, giving your child that opportunity. Kind of stay away. I know the TV sometimes is good to help them kind of relax so that you don't have this rowdy upbringing in your house, but it's very important for your child to have those opportunities to play, because children learn through play. Kids learn by watching TV, videos, and using the computer. But kids also need time for physical activity to ensure healthy development. What you can do at home, if you limit TV time, the time spent watching TV, videos, and computers, your child have more time for fun, healthy activities like jumping rope, swinging, and playing hide and seek with their friends. So it's kind of good for you to kind of find a little friend group. I know this has been a very challenging time with all these the virus going around, people staying healthy and safe, and your health and safety is very important. But you still need that outdoor time. The sunlight is very important. Your body needs that sunlight, and also your child needs that time to have be able to make those big movements, running, jumping, kicking. So it's very important that you give them that opportunity. If you don't want to have to be with another group of people, just go to the park. It'll be perfect like early in the morning because the sun isn't going to be shining too hot, and your child will have time to kind of burn off some of that energy. But it's very important for your child to be able to have those opportunities for that big growth motor development. So people are our most important role model when modeling for children. So you as the parent, it's important what you do to help model for your child. So your healthy habits can help them become healthy too. When you play with your child, whenever playing a game, sports, or even dancing, it helps make them healthier. And it helps bring your family closer together. So having those good times together, those enjoyable times, the laughing, the playing, the giggling, the tickling, the running, the chasing, and all that, it does help bring your family together, and it helps build those good memories in your child's brain. So what happens when your child spends too much time watching TV, video games, or computers? It helps their attention span is lessened. So it'll help. It's kind of like when they go to school, it's going to be hard for them to focus when they're in school, because it doesn't help them, even though you think because they're spending this long time focused on the screen, but they're not going to be able to focus on the other things that are around them for a longer time. Then there is a less time that children are playing with other children and learning different skills that they need, the social skills that they need in life. So when they're only just watching TV, just like they're doing anything, they don't have that time to learn the social skills to help them in life. It also helps. It kind of causes sleep problems that may happen, especially when the TV is in the child's bedroom. And then they spend less time with you. That means that you're having that less time where you're building that connection and that bond with your child. So it is important to kind of stay away from those screens. I'm not saying that screens shouldn't be used at all, but because there are some times that your child is able to learn some, like there might be their colors or shapes, or depending on what you're putting on. But it is very important for your child to have that interaction with other people and to have that one-on-one contact with you. So remember, let's make sure during this time that we're off, that we put away those screens and those televisions and that tablet, and have that one-on-one time with our children outside playing. It doesn't even have to be outside. It could just be playing together, just kind of getting y'all to build that bond and that communication. I just want to thank you for being along with me on this video journey. It has been a wonderful journey doing these young toddler videos for you. This will be our last video for this 2020-2021 school year. I am so excited. I really am thankful for you allowing me to come here, to be in your home, to talk to you, to tell you about these activities, to explain to you the handouts. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Just remember, there's one announcement. We're going to have our last drive-by on June 3rd from 9 to 11, or anytime. Just get with your home visitor. We're going to have a little goodie for you and for your child. Just have the opportunity to just kind of celebrate this. We made it through, because it has been a very different year for us here in home base. These virtual visits have been just something new and a good experience that we've had, just learning new things on how to communicate with others. But I just want to thank you and have a wonderful and great summer.